This is QTV News broadcasting from the Gambia, and I am Mariatu Sidibe. Here are our top stories. After a week's break from sittings, the TRRC resumed as first witness. Ex-soldier Lamin Senghor, nicknamed the Assassin, denies killing or taking part in any torture. The 13th GCCI International Trade Fair is underway at the Independence Stadium in Bakau, focusing on the theme Regional Business Networking and Youth Empowerment through Skills Training. Land disputes continue as owners at Fara to Bojankunda cries foul after their houses are demolished. Here's the news in detail. Lamin Senghor, or Pas Senghor, nicknamed the Assassin, told the commission he took part in foiling the November 11th coup d'etat, but never tortured any detainee, either then or throughout his career at various security departments. Babukar Sisse reports.
Giving his testimony, Lamin Senghor, the assassin, asserted that on November 11th, he was among those who captured both Yundum and Fajara barracks, but he did not see any arrested officers being tortured, nor did he take part in any torture. This despite being shown a video in which he was implicated by victims. At Fajara barracks, where Sana Sabali was alleged to have assembled arrested soldiers and summarily executed them, the witness alleged he was not aware because he had collapsed and was recovering from exhaustion from inhaling gas emitted by his heavy machine gun.
So as soon as you put in your safety catch, you collapsed?
Yes.
From the gas?
Yes.
That's your testimony?
Yes.
But the gas in the machine gun does not make anybody collapse.
It can, including the way it was shaking my body.
Mr. Witness, we have looked at this. The gas does not make anybody collapse.
It is possible, Counsel.
Well,
like I said earlier,
let's take it step by step. Let's look at what you have said to the investigators. Your first meeting with the investigators, you said it was the gas, correct?
Yes.
But when you did your statement, you changed your story. You said you collapsed out of exhaustion.
Yes.
That's in your statement.
Yes.
And now again, you have reverted back to the issue of the gas.
Yes.
Because you have realized that we have already set you up to show that you have used that gun from the bridge all the way to State House without collapsing.
Because there we didn't fire.
That is why now you are trying to use the gas again as an excuse.
On the issue of detainees at Mile 2, in which Babukar Sanyang accused him of torturing and suffocating him under the supervision of Alaji Martin, Lamin Senghor refuted the allegations, saying he actually interrogated Babukar Sanyang and two other detainees, but he forgave them without laying a finger on them.
Cisse and Sanyang?
Yes.
And what happened with these three when they were brought?
When they were brought, they were asked to sit on the floor. Then I turned to Alaji Martin and asked permission that I will be dealing with these three people. At that instance, even Alaji Martin thought these people will have more than what the others have. So,
what do you mean by that?
That I am going to deal with these three personally. Nobody will participate in their interrogation. Then when I turned to Babukar, I told him to swear between him and God if he have known anything about the offense I committed that day. He kept quiet. Then he later responded to me that we used to do it for one another. If I charge somebody and I fail to have a witness, I can just call you and say, boy, come on, witness for me. I told him, but you are a witness in something you didn't know about. You didn't even fear God. I told them that here I have the power now to pay back, to do anything I feel like. But I promise you that even a single harm will not be laid on you people.
And then what happened?
And that's how it went.
They were not beaten?
At that day.
Nothing happened to them?
That day.
They were sent back to their cells?
Their cells, yes.
Sanyang said, you tortured him mercilessly. That's what Sanyang said. Let's play the video.
You know, he said, look, handle him. So this handle him, all of a sudden I saw a plastic bag being put on my head.
The RSM at the time?
Yes.
That's him, right?
That's him, yeah.
Let's listen to him, what he has to say. Could you kindly take it back a little bit?
You know, he said, look, handle him. So this handle him, all of a sudden I saw a plastic bag being put on my head and then tied it.
Put the plastic bag over
The guy behind me.
Do you know who he was?
No. But two guys that I in fact confirmed, that is Senghor, Pa Senghor and Ndur.
As a one-time jungler, an NIA officer, and also a member of the drug squad, Senghor denied taking part in any torture or execution of anyone throughout his career. At that point, the lead counsel, Esa Fall, put to him that it appears he is concealing the truth. Senghor was then given a second chance to come clean, but still he maintained his innocence. Babakar Sise, QTV News.
Landowners at Farato Bojankunda contacted QTV about a recent land incident which resulted in a massive clearing of houses. Those affected said a real estate company claims legal ownership of the land which has already been constructed on. Ibrahim Balde has more.
On Sunday morning, landowners at Farato Bojankunda called the attention of QTV to the recent land incident, which resulted in a massive clearing of houses in that area. According to victims, a real estate company called Mano Properties claimed to be the legal owners of the land, which has already been constructed. This resulted in paramilitaries invading the place and demolishing houses. According to compound owners, they acquired their lands legally and they have all papers to prove this. Samba Balde, the president of the Victims Association, told QTV they are not going to relent until they get to the root of this matter because most of them struggle to acquire these lands.
We are here as victims at our residence, which is Farato Bojankunda and Bafloto. So we bought our plot of lands here years back from the respective alcalos. So as you can see, we came here to meet every weekend since this incident happens. We came here to discuss as victims. So we make certain consultations from the perspective from the respective people, but yet still there was nothing to be clear to us. So we decided to come every week to meet as victims to discuss what is or who is behind this demolition. Here we have 3 alcalos in this community. That is Farato Alcalo, and you have Farato Bojankunda Alcalo, and you have Bafloto. For me, I bought my land from the Alcalo of Bafloto, but my other victims bought their lands from Bojankunda Alcalos.
How comes different alcalos are selling a particular piece of land? Where is this land situated? Is it at the alcalo of Bojankunda or alcalo of Farato, as you mentioned?
Yeah, according to our investigation as victims, we realized that these lands belongs to Bafloto, according to the investigation we have. So, but like in this land also, there are 3 boundaries according to the respective alcalos we interview. So they say that Farato itself have a border where they stops, and Bafloto itself have a border where they stop, and Bojankunda also has a border where they stops. So that's how we all get our lands from.
According to Mr. Balde, they contacted the alcalo of Farato, but they were told the piece of land was never sold to any estate agency.
Guy claiming, actually we ourselves, we did not see him personally, but like we heard that his Sam, that is Manu Estate, he's the one claiming that he's the owner of this plot. But during our investigations to the respective alcalos, but what they put to us that is, they themselves, they don't know who Sam is. They don't know who Sam is, and they never have any discussion with Sam about this land issue. So, and they have never even made any transfer.
Who said that? Both alcalos?
The both alcalos. Both of them confidently tell us that they don't know who Sam is and they don't make any transfer.
That's the alcalo of Bojankunda?
Bojankunda and Bafloto, and even Fatso, the alcalo of this Farato.
Modou Lamin Sedi, a victim, also expressed his displeasure at the situation and said he spent all his money on the land and construction and that he and the others need urgent intervention.
Mom def ma shock torop because man suma kayti kër bi su alkali la ko amé.
We want to follow this issue with discipline. I was shocked when I heard this. I acquired my piece of land from the Alcalo and I asked him if there are no issues with the land. He said no. I already built my house, then received a call that this was happening. I rushed and I saw them destroying our buildings. This is really crazy. We are calling on the government to help us resolve this matter as soon as possible. QTV tried calling the owner of Mano Real Estate, who goes by the name Sam, but his phone was switched off. QTV will follow this matter and bring further developments. Ibrahim Balde, QTV News.
The 13th GCCI International Trade Fair is underway at the Independence Stadium in Bakau, focusing on the theme Regional Business Networking and Youth Empowerment through Skills Training. Bringing together thousands of actors from the business community, this year's event also witnessed the launch of the Techie Fee, Make It in the Gambia project and campaign, a new government initiative supported by the EU. Lasana Tunkara reports.
Youth empowerment takes center stage at the 13th International GCCI Trade Fair, where more than 450 stalls are exhibiting products made in the continent and beyond. The European Union ambassador to the Gambia, Attila Lajos, promised that the EU would continue to empower young Gambian people through entrepreneurship. The EU, through the Youth Empowerment Project, YEP, has trained and supported more than 2,000 Gambian youth.
What a better place to launch the Techie Fee project cannot be a better place than the annual Gambia International Trade Fair. The aims of the trade fair and the aims of the Techie Fee align perfectly. In the Gambia, your homeland, you strive and work. In the Gambia, you can succeed. Techie Fee must be more than just a motto. It must be a reality. This is why in the Gambia, the European Union massively invests in technical and vocational training, in helping entrepreneurs in developing their businesses to reach new heights of success. This is to ensure that the youth will get the skills and tools they need to make their professional projects in the Gambia come true.
Mohamed Jagana, the outgoing president of the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, used his opening statement to announce plans for the construction of a world-class trade fair center in Brusubi. The Vice President, Dr. Aissatou Touré, said the Techie Fee initiative is well aligned to the objectives of the National Development Plan 2018 to 2021, which recognizes the youth as a central engine for achieving growth and development.
It is a strategic response to my government's commitment to leave no youth behind in national development. Evidently, therefore, the program is expected to contribute to the National Development Plan objectives of reducing youth unemployment to 30% by 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, it is common knowledge that my government inherited numerous challenges. One of these is the frustrating lack of opportunities for our young people that had resulted to hundreds of our youths undertaking risky journeys through the bad way. As people put it, in search of a better future. We all know what these perilous journeys have caused: loss of many innocent lives, great sufferings and grief for families, and breakdown of ties within families. Very sadly too, the massive outflow of our youth hampers our economy as it translates into erosion of the vital human capital needed to engineer inclusive economic growth and social transformation. With much courage, my government remains determined to turn the tide, and we have made important strides to this end.
At the fair, over 450 stalls are exhibiting local and sub-regional goods and services. Among them are farm products exhibited by farmers in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture. The program is expected to contribute to the NDP objective of reducing youth unemployment to 30% by 2021. Vice President Touré called on the youth to be proactive and take full advantage of all the opportunities available. Lassana Tunkara, QTV News.
A week-long convergence of educational directors, teachers and stakeholders called the Coordinating Committee Meeting, or CCM, is underway in Region 2 Education Directorate in Birkama. The gathering hopes to map out ways of improving the education sector in the country as the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education works towards achieving quality. Babukar C. has the rest of that story.
The CCM gathering is meant to map out ways of achieving excellence in the classrooms by tackling the problems faced by teachers and students. According to MOPSI, monitoring practices to either maintain or enhance the quality of education remains important for quality assurance. The Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, Madam Claudiana Cole, described the week-long gathering as an opportunity to review all the actions leading to the attainment of inclusive quality education for sustainable development.
As policymakers, school leaders, teachers, and general managers of education projects, our interest in the attainment of quality education calls for continued focus on effective monitoring and supervision of teaching and learning in schools to ensure minimum standards for quality education in schools and delivery of quality education that we are all yearning for. Mr. Chairman, Deputy Governor, Permanent Secretary, Madam Henrietta here at the high table, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to this end, and as indicated in our current education policy, the cluster-based monitoring system should be strengthened and properly utilized. There has been outcries about the poor state of the mobility of the cluster monitors. I want to assure everyone in this room that in the next week or so, that will be a thing of the past.
Henriette Bruma-Shankar, head of the MRC Holland project, said attitude has a crucial role in moving our education towards attaining excellence.
There's a huge gap still between the parents who have not gone to school and the children who went to school. And now we have another gap between the parents who are not social media literate and the students, the children, who are far more social media literate than their parents. And that makes the role of MOPSI even more important. Because 50 years ago, everything you learn in terms of attitude, you learn it at home. You learn it from your parents, you learn it in the community. But now, MOPSI takes a huge chunk of that responsibility. So, you have the CCM, I would say, which is senior management all the way down to every level of management. You have the cluster monitors, you have the head teachers, you have the teachers, you have the students. If at any of those levels there's an attitudinal issue, it will filter down right to the student. And it filters down to the whole society.
Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Ibrahim Asisaho, has been telling us more about the importance of the CCM regional gatherings.
The reason why we conduct CCM is for us to be able to touch base with what happened in the classroom. So every 2 months we move to one region, and then we spend a week discussing issues and challenges facing our education system. But what is striking about the whole process is a specific day is chosen, on which we don't only limit ourselves into the conference hall, but then we go right into the classroom and have a direct interaction with the teachers and the whole school to find out what has been happening over the period. We try to make a complete assessment of the issue of teaching and learning, the issue of materials, the environment, the leadership, and the monitoring. All this together, we make a comprehensive evaluation of the process. And then after that evaluation, the head teacher is invited the following day to the regional office for discussions about the school, and then a proper feedback is given to the head teacher, which he is expected to work with the other stakeholders to improve on. And we don't even only stop there, but then a subsequent follow-up is also made in the subsequent CCMs to find out whether those recommendations were implemented or not.
8 weeks ago, the ministry was in Basse to hold a similar seminar geared towards bettering the education system of the country in attaining quality. The team will on Wednesday tour schools in Region 2 for first-hand information on the happenings inside the classroom. Babukar C.
On Friday, Latria Upper Basic School organized a one-day sensitization on peace. The event brought together students, teachers, and parents to discuss the importance of maintaining peace in their community and the country. Ibrahim Balde was there and reports.
On Friday, Latria Lower Basic School organized a one-day sensitization on peace. The event brings together students of the school, teachers, and parents within the community. The reason for this is to teach the youngsters the importance of peace and how to maintain peace in their community and in the country at large. Mr. Bubakar Drame is the Family Gambia Peace Educator for Latria Lower Basic School.
We are grateful for witnessing and participation in our peace education program. It is our program that will center on peace advocacy in our school, peace advocacy in our society. We use peace to maintain anything in the world. When people said peace, we are able to control, resolve conflicts without violence and solve our problems. Without violence and can work together to improve equality of life. In social sense, peace is commonly mean to lack violation with indigenous people and individuals. My good listeners, when we say peace, we can use peace by the control of self-learning effort for the facts and show respect and communicate to one another.
According to Mr. Drame, peace is the most important element to move a country. Without peace, there cannot be development, and in addition, we should learn to respect each other's view to maintain peace. Mr. Usman Fofana is the Peace and Humanitarian Supervisor of this school.
Since we embark on these activities in schools, we slow down our peace education leaflet and radio programs to the public and the communities due to lack of funds. Notwithstanding, we hope to begin counting on friends and well-wishers support begin those activities and programs while we and our partners try to solicit assistance. We limited ourselves working in 18 different schools in Region 2, namely Sinchubalia Lower and Upper Basic School, Jabang Lower and Upper Basic School, Busumbala Farato Lower Basic School, St. Peter Lower and Upper Basic School, Welingara Lower Basic School, Kunkujanketia Lower and Upper Basic School, Latria Lower Basic School, Sinchu Alaje Lower Basic School, Nigeria International School, Lamendaranka Lower Basic School, Yundum Barracks Upper Basic School, Banyunini Lower and Upper Basic School, and Olinum Lower and Upper Basic School.
The guest speaker at the event, Famara Fofana, said, without the basic needs in a country, there is no peace. Peace is a basic need for every community and its people.
But therefore, other people will tell us that when there is war or violent conflict in any society, peace is being undermined. But there are certain factors that we need to consider this evening when we talked about peace. Now, when you live in a society like we used to live in the Gambia, in the morning you go to work, when you take permission from your wife and members of your community, and said, I am going to work. Before you return from work, your family members are thinking whether you will be taken to NIA or not. That family is not at peace on that particular day. That family is not at peace on that particular day. But there is no war in their community. There is no violent conflict in their community. But simply for the fact that your husband or your wife is going to work and you are not sure whether the person will be taken to NIA or somewhere else, that alone, you are not at peace. So therefore, your sense of mind, your thinking, and your environment determine the peace that you enjoy.
According to them, peace education should be introduced to all schools in the Gambia to embed the importance of peace in a society. Ibrahim Balde, QTV News.
Before we end this bulletin, here's a recap of our main stories. Lamin Senghor, or Pa Senghor, nicknamed the Assassin, told the commission he took part in foiling the November 11th coup d'etat, but never tortured any detainee, either then or throughout his career at various security departments. The 13th GCCI International Trade Fair is underway at the Independence Stadium in Bakau, focusing on the theme Regional Business Networking and Youth Empowerment through Skills Training. Land disputes continue as owners at Farato Bojankunda cries foul after their houses are demolished. Those affected said a real estate company claims legal ownership of the land, which has already been constructed on. That's it for this edition of the news. Join us tomorrow for more news. Thank you for watching.